Wizards learn hundreds of spells in their lifetime, but not all of them come from textbooks. Some are hidden, others are buried, and a few were lost on purpose. In this episode, we summon the forgotten spells of Hogwarts, powerful, strange, and rarely seen, even by the most skilled aurors or professors. These are the incantations that history tried to silence. Welcome to the Forgotten Mage. Fiendfyre is no ordinary flame. It's a magical inferno with a will of its own. It does not obey. It devours. Vincent Crabbe cast this spell during the Battle of Hogwarts. Deep in the Room of Requirement, he couldn't control it. The fire consumed everything, furniture, relics, and even a Horcrux. That's what makes Fiendfyre unique. It can destroy a Horcrux, something almost no other force in the magical world can do. But the spell is far too dangerous. Even enchanted water or aguamenti can't extinguish it. The only way to stop it is to never cast it. Its incantation, never taught, never written, perhaps never meant to be known. Mentioned briefly in The Prisoner of Azkaban, this charm saved hundreds of witches and wizards from Muggle persecution. When cast, it transformed real fire into a harmless warmth, more like a tickle than a burn. Wendelin the Weird, a famous historical witch, enjoyed it so much that she disguised herself and got caught, at least 47 times. The spell has no known pronunciation today. No incantation appears in modern magical education. It was likely banned or forgotten after the International Statute of Secrecy. A charm once used to cheat death, now erased by time. Obscuro, a spell that cloaks vision, not by shutting your eyes, but by clouding them in darkness. Hermione Granger cast this spell on the portrait of Phineas Nigellus Black, keeping him from revealing their secret location to Snape. Its pronunciation, Obscuro. Harry would later use the same spell against Draco Malfoy in The Cursed Child, not to harm him, but to protect a deeper truth. Obscuro is proof that silence and blindness are sometimes the kindest forms of protection. Homenum Revelio, the spell that reveals human presence, even if invisible or hiding under enchantment. Dumbledore used it in Half-Blood Prince, Hermione in Deathly Hallows. It's deceptively simple. Whispered in the right place at the right time, it can uncover unregistered animagi, disillusionment charms, or hidden foes. But here's the darker question. If you knew someone could find you, no matter where you hid, would you ever truly feel safe? Homenum Revelio doesn't just find others, it erases privacy. Invented by Severus Snape during his student years, Muffliato causes a magical humming in nearby ears, just enough to obscure any conversation from being overheard. It's subtle, clever, and surprisingly, considered ethical enough to be taught at Hogwarts. It doesn't block sound entirely, just enough to create confusion, doubt, interference, the magical version of plausible deniability. Some say it borders on mind magic. Others think it's genius. Either way, it's one of the few lost spells rediscovered and normalized. Proof that not all forgotten magic stays forgotten forever. Carpe Retractum isn't taught at Hogwarts, but it exists in canon, notably in games like Goblet of Fire and other magical training guides. It conjures a magical tether, used to pull distant objects or pull yourself toward them, like a magical grappling hook. Rarely mentioned, but fascinating in theory, it combines summoning, binding, and controlled propulsion. Dangerous if misused, especially when crossing gaps or pulling objects heavier than the caster can handle. Some curse breakers and magical archaeologists still study its mechanics. If you could wield Carpe Retractum with precision, you could swing across ravines or snatch a wand from across the room before your opponent blinks. It's part of a forgotten discipline, spellcraft that blends utility with motion, agile magics, movement as power. Some spells vanish because they're too powerful, others because they're inconvenient, unpredictable, or feared. But sometimes spells disappear because they don't fit the narrative anymore. They offer freedom, mischief, loopholes. They were taught by the wrong witches or used at the wrong time. History remembers what is safe, but magic remembers everything. Which spells should we uncover next? Have you heard of Brachium Emendo, or the ancient blood ink runes used by Salazar Slytherin? Comment below with your favorite obscure spell. Subscribe if you dare. And remember, wizards forget, magic never does.